We welcome our Nigerian viewers and viewers around the world. This is Galaxy TV News. Let's get things started. President Muhammadu Buhari calls for peace and stability in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Plus on the news, National Association of Resident Doctors suspends nationwide strike 2 months after. And outside Nigeria, 10 persons die after tropical cyclone Shaheen battered parts of Iran and Oman. Those are our top stories. We have details in just a moment. And now, wherever you're watching from around the world, we're live from our studios here in Lagos, Nigeria. I am Kelly Egiga. On our first story, President Muhammadu Buhari on Monday in Addis Ababa called for peace and stability in Ethiopia amid the many challenges facing the East African country. In his goodwill message at the inauguration ceremony of Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed for a second 5-year term in office, the president pledged that Nigeria would continue to support the unity and territorial integrity of Ethiopia. The president delivered his message in the presence of African leaders and a jubilant crowd of Ethiopians at the Meskel Square. He told the newly inaugurated Prime Minister that Nigeria, like many other countries, was counting on his leadership to unleash the great economic potentials of Ethiopia by expanding investment opportunities, deepening relations, and building trust at home and abroad.
I bring warm greetings to all from the government and people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is an honor for me to be here to witness this inauguration ceremony of His Excellency Dr. Abiy Ahmed for a second term in office as Prime Minister of the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia. Let me also express my appreciation to the government and people of Ethiopia for the warm reception accorded me and my delegation since our arrival in Ethiopia. I commend the courage and commitment of the people of Ethiopia to the values and principles of democracy. I strongly believe that the outcome of the elections held in June is a reflection of the desire of the Ethiopian people for transformation through a free, fair, and credible electoral process.
Now to legal matters. The Supreme Court has reserved judgment in a suit instituted by the Attorney General of Abia State and the Attorneys General of the 35 states of the Federation seeking an order setting aside Executive Order 10, which borders on granting financial autonomy to state judiciaries and legislatures. The 36 plaintiffs are seeking an order of the Apex Court setting aside the Executive Order 10 for being unconstitutional. The Galaxy's Godfrey Shemoge reports.
On 22nd May 2020, President Muhammadu Buhari signed the Implementation of Financial Autonomy of State Legislatures and State Judiciaries, known as the Presidential Executive Order No. 10, to strengthen legislative and judicial institutions at the state level to make them more independent. Citing Section 81(3) of the Constitution, counsel to the plaintiffs, Austin Alege, said funding of all capital and recurrent expenditures of all courts established under Section 6 must be by the federal government. He said the government has only been funding the capital and recurrent expenditures of the federal courts, that is the Supreme Court, the Court of Appeal, the Federal High Court, National Industrial Court, Sharia Court of Appeal, and the Customary Court of Appeal of the Federal Capital Territory. Alege said the defendant has since May 5th, 1999 been paying only the salaries of judicial officers of the state courts in the states, but excluding the capital expenditure. And he is praying for an order of the Apex Court compelling the federal government for refund to the plaintiff states, funding amounting to 66 billion naira expended on capital.
Now, over the years, particularly starting from 1999 up to this moment, the practice is that funding for the judiciary relating to the current expenditure has been borne by the federal government, leaving out capital expenditure, and that responsibility has been pushed over to the states. So the states have now woken up to say, no, you have wrongly passed responsibility which belongs to you, to us. So that's the essence of the suit. So the arguments have been canvassed in court. The Supreme Court has taken argument on all sides and reserved judgments. So, but it's important to make the point that prior to the enactment of the 1999 Constitution, the practice was that states bore the responsibility for this court. So that mischief was cured by the coming into being of the 1999 Constitution.
We are of the view that federal courts are different from state courts. It is the state's responsibility to take care of state high court, customary court of appeal, and Sharia court of appeal, and for the federal government to take care of Supreme Court, Court of Appeal, National Industrial Court, Federal High Court, FCTI Court. So they are shifting the responsibility to us, and we are saying no, it is their responsibility.
Other senior counsels, including Olisa Agbakoba, who were present to give expert submissions on the constitutional matter, were split, 3 in favor of the states and 2 for the federal government.
The judiciary has always been under the jackboot of the governor and the president, commander-in-chief. But this decision will show that the people who framed our Constitution of 1999 had good intentions for both the states and the federal, had the good intentions for the common man, whose last hope is judiciary. For me, it is an innovation, it is a commendable one, and that we must begin to implement it such that judiciary will no longer be at the beck and call of a governor or of a president.
As you know, it has some perspective under which each one can see the interpretation. I adopted certain interpretation of law which did not allow me to align with them from the authorities cited, and the position of the law is as interpreted by and submitted to the court. I couldn't find myself admitting their own way of interpretation.
The state is to carry its load, while the federation is to carry its own load. As far as capital and recurrent expenditure is concerned, the constitution is explicit. The federation is just to bear allowances and salaries, not capital expenditure. So, but as you know, it has been argued. We are waiting for the wisdom of our noble laws. That's just my position.
Godfrey Eshemoge, Galaxy News, Abuja.
And now to other stories. Governors of the South have resolved that states in the region should join the suit filed by the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, challenging the collection of value-added tax VAT by state. This formed part of the resolutions reached at the meeting of the South Governors Forum held on Monday at the Government House in Port Harcourt, the Rivers State capital. Delta State Governor and Chairman of the Forum, Ifeanyi Okowa, disclosed this while briefing reporters at the end of the closed-door meeting. Meanwhile, the forum deliberated extensively on regional and national issues and resolved to approve the establishment of a regional security outfit to be launched very soon. The governors also appealed to the National Assembly to immediately review and amend sections of the recently enacted Petroleum Industrial Act, PIA. In the meantime, a coalition of northern groups have expressed concerns over the recent threat by southern governors and elites to zone the presidential seat to the south. A spokesman of the coalition, Abdulaziz Sulaiman, while addressing journalists in Abuja on Monday, described the presidential zoning as unconstitutional and undemocratic process to intimidate the north out of the presidential race come 2023. Sulaiman said it is Southern agenda to impose non-existent zoning arrangement in the north, adding that presidential zoning has no root and pattern in the democratic history of Nigeria. He further said that the coalition is in complete solidarity with the stance of Northern Elders Forum on the abolishment of zoning of elective positions in the country.
The CNG, after due consultation with prominent stakeholders, leaders and elders, has categorically resolved fairly and solidly align completely with the position taken by the Northern Elders Forum as expressed by King Baba Ahmed and that of the Northern Governors Forum, that zoning of elected politicians is unconstitutional, undemocratic, and must be dictated. For the avoidance of doubt, therefore, the CNG hereby declares that the North, a major stakeholder in whatever happens in and to Nigeria, shall not be obliged to respect any zoning arrangement of any elected official in whatever party.
Now, the federal government on Sunday threw its weight behind moves by herdsmen to sue southern governors over the anti-open grazing bill that recently signed into law. The Special Assistant Media to the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Dr. Umar Gwandu, will disclose this in an interview with said Nigerians whose rights had been violated could go to court to seek protection. Well, to help us make sense of all of this, Nia Aborishade, legal practitioner, joins us live from the United Kingdom. Thank you so much, Aborishade. What is your analysis of this development as a legal practitioner? Plus, just how will you describe the attitude and perhaps body language of the government at the center?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure having me today. The attitude of the federal government in giving support to Mietiala in respect of the decision of the governor constitutes an unlawful interference to judicial process. There's no doubt every organization or every citizen of Nigeria has constitutional right to go to court of law where they think that their rights has been infringed upon by state or federal government. But it does not defeat the federal government to give support, because people will look at it as if they are the one supporting this private organization. Mietiala or whatever body in Nigeria is a private organization, and the federal government should not have interfered. They should have allowed the rule of law to prevail, and without any interference. This tactical support by the federal government give an impression that they are supporting this private body, which is not fair on the citizens of Nigeria and on the governors as well. Yes, no doubt, they have right, constitutional right to go to court, but government should not interfere with this judicial process. That's my take in that area.
So with this development, what do you see or foresee rather as the next line of action for the governors?
The governors are acting within the purview of law. Section 1 to 4 of the Land Use Act vested the control of land in the hands of the governors. So the governors have the right to take the decision. And not only within the purview of the law, they are taking a reasonable step, a reasonable decision at this point in time in our country, when the menace of herdsmen is going down the rule of lawlessness, and they cannot allow this to be happening in the state. Everybody is complaining, and the only solution is to stop them now, to eradicate this form of open grazing that is causing problems. Some Fulani herdsmen are using this open grazing to conduct abduction, raping, killings of people, that to the extent that the situation is going down to lawlessness and disorderliness. So what the governors have done is to curtail, to prevent war, to prevent disorderliness, and they are acting within the purview of the law under Section 1 to 4 of the Land Use Act 2004. So it's a reasonable step, and I support it as a human rights activist.
Well, fascinating insights, and indeed a pleasure to speak with you, legal practitioner Nia Aborishade. Thank you so much for joining us live for the news from the UK.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure.
You're watching the news on Galaxy TV. We are due for a breather, but in the second part of our news package, National Association of Resident Doctors have indeed suspended their nationwide strike 2 months after. We will tell you more on that story on the other side. Stay with us, we're back in just a moment. You're watching the news on Galaxy TV, and we absolutely appreciate it. For more updates and latest news, visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/Galaxy TV Nigeria. You can follow or interact with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Galaxy TV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Official Galaxy TV. If you have breaking news around you, you can avail our eyewitness feature where WhatsApp. Simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818 666 Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your life update and comment. And now to other stories. The National Association of Resident Doctors, NARD, has suspended its nationwide strike for 6 weeks. The president of the union, Dr. Godiya Ishaya, disclosed this while addressing the media at the end of the emergency meeting held by the National Executive Council meeting in Abuja. Dr. Ishaya said the union had earlier embarked on strike on August 2nd, 2021 to press home its demands on payment of salaries, amongst others. And according to him, the strike has been suspended with effect from Wednesday, 6 October 2021, following the critical appraisal of the performance of both the federal and state government on all issues that led to the 63-day strike.
NEC resolved by vote of a simple majority to suspend the total and indefinite strike action embarked upon on 2nd August 2021. Therefore, our members will resume full work on Wednesday, 6 October 2021 by 8 a.m. The NEC urged the federal government to reciprocate the good faith and trust shown by the association by ensuring the following: continuous processing and payment of the ongoing 2021 and 2020 medical residency training fund.
It will be recalled that the National Industrial Court had ordered the resident doctors to suspend the strike. Well, let's stay with that particular story, as after 61 days or more of the strike by the Association of Resident Doctors, the union has finally called off the strike. Now, while speaking with Galaxy's Irebami Salako, the Public Relations Officer, Rubeja Toluwani, said the doctors will be resuming on Wednesday and are happy to return to work.
We are happy to come back to work because that is our duty. We're not happy with the result of the strike. We're not happy with the fact that we have to even resort to the strike. We're not happy that we have the government who we have to drag to the negotiation table by calling on strike. And we're not happy with the fact that despite 62 days of being on strike, the government still don't seem to show the necessary will to bring us back. By 8 a.m. on Wednesday, we are all resuming.
Although the terms of negotiations of regular replacement of resident doctors due to brain drain, provisions of residential quarters for resident doctors and payments of salaries and dues have not been fully met, Rubeja said the doctors have decided to come back to work because the health sector was in a critical position.
The strike does not mean that negotiations have been successful or fruitful. We just found that we've gotten to a critical position where we find it better to continue negotiation without necessarily, hindering service being rendered. My hopes are that all our demands are met because these demands are actually reasonable. None of these demands can be said to be unreasonable. It's not unreasonable to say members who are being owed because they have not migrated to the proper payment platform should continue to be owed. It's not appropriate that members who lost their lives in services can't have their family members paid their death and service benefits. It's not too much to ask. It's not too much to ask that members who have worked get paid 20 months. Imagine being owed 20 months salary. It's absurd.
And now to other stories. Facebook-owned services WhatsApp and Instagram are down on Monday, leaving some 3 billion online users frustrated and unable to connect all over the world. The social tools, including Facebook's own messenger service, were first reported as not being available from 4:25 p.m. on Monday. The users visited the social platforms owned by Silicon Valley guru Mark Zuckerberg confronted with error messages. The Facebook-owned apps, which have some 3 billion users worldwide, reports occasional outages in March 2021 and July 2020, which often spark an array of comment on other social platforms. Now, since the suspension of microblogging site Twitter by the federal government here in Nigeria in June 2021, Nigerians have relied heavily on Facebook-owned platforms for social interactions, while a few others continue to tweet, circumventing the ban using private virtual networks. Now, let's take you to Benue State, where Governor Samuel Ortom has commiserated with President Muhammadu Buhari, the Nigerian Army, and the Lupaku of Share Oba Haruna Lawale Suleiman and family over the death of Brigadier General Dayo Akpere, the commander of Operation Wellstroke. He said General Akpere, force commander of the Operation Wellstroke in Benue, Nasarawa and Taraba states, died on Saturday, 2nd October 2021 of an undisclosed ailment and is a huge tragedy to Nigeria's war against terrorism in the country. The principal special assistant on media to the governor in a statement said Ortom described the death as a big blow to the army and particularly Benue State, who has been contending with Fulani militia, bandits and kidnappers. As part of measures to curtail the spate of insecurity within the jurisdiction of the 2 Division Nigerian Army, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya, has flagged off Operation Still Waters. The exercise was supervised by the General Officer commanding 2 Division Nigerian Army, Major General Gold Chibuzo, at the step-up headquarters of the division in Ibadan. Correspondent Kunojo completes the story.
Oyo State Governor Engineer Seyi Makinde this morning flagged off Operation Stillwater, which is aimed at curtailing the spate of insecurity in Oyo State. In company of Governor Makinde were heads of security chiefs in Oyo State.
The operation, with the aim of ensuring safety of lives and property within the jurisdiction of the 2 Division Nigerian Army of Oyo, Edo, Ondo, Ekiti and Kwara states, had in attendance heads of security formations in Oyo State. The team is made up of officers from the Nigerian Army, the Nigerian Police Force, Department of State Security Service, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, Nigerian Customs Service, among others. Addressing the gathering, the General Officer commanding 2 Division, Major General Gold Chibuzo, said the operation remains the initiative of the Chief of Army Staff to curtail insecurity, create military-civil relations, and boost troops' ability to tackle insecurity.
Exercise Still Waters is one of the exercises conceived by the Army to boost troops' ability to tackle current security challenges. It commences today and will run for the remaining part of the year. Other exercises concurrently being launched with Exercise Still Waters are Exercise Enduring Peace in the north-central part of our country, and Exercise Golden Dawn in the southeast and parts of south-south.
He added that the joint operations will further boost the interagency's collaboration, while Governor Seyi Makinde, who was represented by his Chief of Staff, Segun Ogunwuyi, stressed the need for cooperation and collaboration among security agencies in the country for the success of the ongoing onslaught against bandits.
I wish to state that the exercise will be based on real-time intelligence on the prevailing security threats in the aforementioned states and will metamorphose into real operations to checkmate criminalities. I must add that the exercise is expected to further strengthen civil-military relations between the military and the good people of the states in 2 divisions' area of responsibility.
Because now we are talking Operation Stillwater, we are talking New Dawn, we are talking code names of operations that civilians can relate with. So on this note, I want to really commend him, because that means we have changed strategy, we have changed direction in the fight against insurgency, banditry, and all what.
Makinde promised the support of his government and the good people of Oyo State for the success of Operation Still Waters. From Ibadan, Kunle Ojo, Galaxy TV.
And now, operatives of Ogun State Police Command have arrested 2 suspected kidnappers while trying to collect ransom money on a 7-year-old boy. The police public relations officer in the state, Abimbola Oyemi, disclosed this on Monday. Oyemi said the suspects, Mohammed Abubakar and Clinton Neshe, were apprehended on Sunday following a report lodged at Agbara Area Command. PPRO said the report was lodged by one Stephen Ajibili, who reported that his 7-year-old son, Daniel, was abducted by unknown persons while he was sent on an errand by his mother at about 11:20 a.m. He added that the father lamented further that the abductors had called him and demanded the sum of 1 million naira if he wants to see his son released. The PPRO said consequent upon the report, the acting area commander Agbara, Kayode Shedrack, quickly mobilized his detectives to embark on an intelligence and technical-based investigations to unravel those behind the act. And still tracking security stories, some legal practitioners have lamented the continuous attacks by bandits and gunmen in the country. Now, some yet to be identified gunmen in Anambra State invaded and set on fire the residence of Joe Ibokwe, Special Advisor on Drainage and Water Resources to the Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. Reports suggest the miscreants also attacked an edifice belonging to the Department of State Services DSS and the Federal Road Safety Corps FRC building in that state. Now, speaking with Galaxy Solomon Ofen, the legal practitioners opine that these security issues point to bad leadership in the country.
The problem obviously is leadership failure. When there is a collapse of leadership, then issues like this are inevitable. We can only pray that our people get it right. Once we get it right in the area of leadership, every other thing will be fixed.
Well, the insecurity in the country is becoming rather prevalent. And insecurity in the north, south, east, west. No part of the country is immune from the insecurity. The spate of insecurity needs urgent attention. We all should put Nigeria first in addressing it.
As the Nigerian security network is devising a system, methods of eliminating them, they are also devising a system of more destruction, other areas of how to be able to operate seamlessly. So this is a new dimension of their ability to assume or to destroy or to carry out their own destruction. So I think the Nigerian security system is not living up to expectation. That is why you are having all these issues coming up.
You call a spade, or you don't call it another thing to be able to solve, because the first thing in design thinking is for you to first identify the problem, be precise as to the problem, then you now look forward to solution or design a strategy around it. So the security in the country is in all ramifications, everywhere. You can't exempt any part of the economy. The naira is not even secure.
And away from security stories, the need for adequate planning of the environment towards the attainment of a carbon-free world has been stressed. This call was made known by key stakeholders at the 2021 World Habitat Day with the theme Accelerating Urban Action for a Carbon-Free World in Abeokuta, Ogun State capital. Correspondent John Felix reports.
Gathered here are stakeholders participating in the global conversation aimed at identifying problems having local effects and finding sustainable solutions to them all, geared towards making living better for all. In his lecture titled Effects of Urbanization and Land Use on Greenhouse Gases, Emission, Strategic Options for Sustainable Development, a professor of urban and regional planning, Kayode Oyeshiku, says reduction of greenhouse gases and air pollution is one of the goals of the United Nations. He says change and urbanization are two of the most important phenomena facing the world today, stressing that cities have begun to take measures to reduce greenhouse gases emissions.
We must create the culture that it is right by ensuring that we plan our environment. Plans must be developed not to satisfy today, but to make nobody is left behind by assimilating good evidences, by ensuring that we develop inclusive cities not only within the large metropolitan areas, but across the state and the federation. We must also adopt an infrastructural strategy that reinforces our spatial strategy.
In his address, the Commissioner for Physical Planning and Urban Development says the 2021 World Habitat Day theme is to focus on the need to galvanize concerted efforts by all, particularly those living in urban areas, to free their environment of carbon pollution.
The objective of this year's World Habitat Day celebration, and therefore the chosen theme, is to focus on this serious issue of the impact of urban and city activities on the ever-increasing carbon footprint, and to embrace a course of action towards its reduction and eventual zero generation. This is a collective responsibility, and we owe it to our planet and our continuous survival to get on the train of this advocacy by changing our habits that contribute to global warming, and to also spread the gospel to our communities.
I bring you my voice as an ambassador of the Nigerian Institute of Town Planners, and I say, today, governments at all levels and the citizens of Nigeria, as you listen to my call for adequate attention to physical planning so that we can together accelerate urban action for a carbon-free world, do not harden your heart.
Ogun State Governor Dapo Abiodun says his administration in the last 2 years has worked towards having the carbon-free state. He says his government will continue to harness its status as an industrial hub by creating a clean environment for business growth.
We have strengthened the Ministry of Environment for improved monitoring of the environment to reduce pollution. We've also established and strengthened the Ogun State Waste Management Authority to ensure effective and efficient waste management. We've also prepared, as we heard earlier, our state strategic transport master plan. Preparations are now in top gear to commence our intra-city bus service to reduce emission and gridlock on our city roads. We've also carried out the construction and rehabilitation of about 272 kilometers of critical roads statewide. We continue to encourage the use of gas and the issuance of permits for laying of gas pipelines, especially to commercial users. We've started the preparation of development guide plans to create order and upgrade the physical development outlook of communities that were hitherto unplanned.
With this development, Ogun State joins the League of Progressive States to spread the gospel of zero carbon emission. From Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital, John Felix reporting for Galaxy Television News.
Now, the United Nations International Children's Emergency Fund, UNICEF, and Oyo State governments have stressed the need for teamwork and collaboration among health workers in the state. Now, speakers at the workshop on development of scorecards on reproductive, maternal, newborn childcare emphasized the need for unity of purpose in all primary health care centers in the state. Correspondent Kunlojo reports that the Executive Secretary Oyo State Primary Health Care Board, Dr. Muideen Olatunji, explained that the present administration has decided to improve on its health care delivery, while the consultant UNICEF, John Quinley, described scorecard as a tool to prevent linkages between program implementation and monitoring in various health facilities of the country.
were indicted. They said, we don't go to that site, we don't even monitor what's going on. That they give us password to it, that we don't visit the site. So if you don't visit it and you are here to empower us, then what's the essence of empowerment?
The scorecards were developed by the African Leaders Malaria Alliance and have been used in many countries in Africa. The idea of a scorecard is to take currently available data and to put it in a one-page format where people can see their performance.
Other speakers of the workshop harped on the need for policymakers in the country to take advantage of the program in their respective states while taking decisions on health issues. Meanwhile, some of the participants submitted that the training will assist the team in management, accountability, and advocacy.
The biggest challenge with the health system in Nigeria and elsewhere in the low and medium income country is that the government and other stakeholders are not investing enough in primary health care. The level of investment is low, and you need this kind of data, evidence, to present to political leaders and policymakers in order to continue to prioritize health.
We know that those that are doing the work are not the policymakers. So there is a need for the policymakers who don't have that time to look at big documents, to see how well their health is doing.
Improve more, because from the scorecard, you can have a quick glance into the activities and the program, and then the outcome of whatever they are doing at their various LGAs and the facility level.
And the scorecard, the usefulness of it is that it will help in management, accountability, and advocacy.
Now, to further curb the spread of the Delta variant of COVID-19 in Delta State community of Uvei local government area, the Supervisory Councillor of Health, Peter Odiobara, says the task force on COVID-19 will soon commence the enforcement of protocols in public places. He made a disclosure while speaking with our correspondent at Efuru on the attitude of residents towards receiving the vaccines, which according to him is available in health centers across the locality. He stressed that the task force will commence operations starting from the first week of October in ensuring that the local government and state is safe from the virus.
Now, we have a running team on ground talking about the COVID task force who have been working before now. And I had a meeting with some of the executives yesterday, and by the grace of God, we're kicking up in a full force by the 1st of this October 1st.
On the turnout for vaccination, he stressed that over 60% of the people are yet to receive their vaccines despite its availability.
60% of them are still backward for them to be vaccinated of this COVID-19 stuff. I want to advise and also encourage that they should come out. The vaccine, as I'm talking to you, is available.
And a quick look at sports news. So football enthusiasts and president Ajabo Football Club, Chidi Daniel, has blamed maladministration of Nigerian football as a factor responsible on the loss of interest in the local league by Nigerian youth. Daniel said lack of grassroots sports development discouraged Nigerian youths from showing interest in sport. He reaffirmed this in Ajabo Obafemi Owode local government at the official unveiling of Ajabo Football Club. He explained that sports remains the only unifying factor that can equip the youth and dissuade them from engaging in cybercrime. He also called on the private sector to partner with the government to revive the sports sector for a better Nigeria. Meanwhile, Ogun State FA Chairman Ganiyu Majekodumi, while commending the club owners for the initiative, urged them to sustain it by working with the local government football council.
We are interested in local football because of the amount of effort that has been deployed in developing the local football. We want to be able to develop the Nigerian league. When we develop, that's what we're doing. When we develop it, you find that our league will not only attract Nigerian youths, but will attract youth from other parts of Africa.
We have talent. Like the president said, Nigeria, we are very rich in talents, but there are no sponsors. We have players here and there. Every crew and kind of Nigerians, we can get better players. But where there's no sponsors, there's nothing we can do.
Watching the news on Galaxy TV, let's switch gears for a moment and join our international desk for more reports. Please stay with us.
This is international news. 10 people have died after tropical cyclone Shaheen battered parts of Iran and Oman. The storm arrived in the area on Sunday with winds between 120 and 150 km per hour as its eyes crossed land. Thousands have been evacuated from coastal areas in Oman. Streets in the capital, Muscat, have been submerged. Shaheen was later downgraded to a tropical storm after it hit land, a local meteorology service said. In Iran, authorities said 6 people thought to be fishermen were killed in a port in the southeastern province of Sistan Baluchistan. The country's official media said infrastructure, including electrical facilities and roads, were damaged even before the cyclone made landfall in Oman. 4 people, including a child, had already died due to flooding. A cricket match between Oman and Scotland was abandoned due to the cyclone. Authorities cut off the power supply in Al Kerm, east of Muscat, to avoid an incident, and some 2,700 people were placed in emergency shelters. Part of the neighboring United Arab Emirates are now on standby as the weather system moves west. Residents of the Al Ain on the border with Oman have been told to work remotely on Monday and avoid leaving home except for emergencies. Still, on the international scene, security has been tightened in northern India town after 8 people, including 4 protesting farmers, died on Sunday. Violence broke out in Lakhimpur Kheri district of Uttar Pradesh state during a protest against agricultural reforms. Photos and videos on social media showed vehicles set on fire as people lay covered in blood. Opposition leaders have been stopped from visiting the families of the victims as the situation remains tense. Farmers alleged that clashes erupted after a car from a federal minister's motorcade ran over 2 protesting farmers, a charge the minister denies. Several prominent farm leaders, including Rakesh Takait, reached the violence-hit district on Monday morning. Takait told the media that farmers will hold discussions with the villagers before deciding their future course of action. Farmers, who are the backbone of our economy, cannot be treated like this, he said. Their fears are legitimate about private players hurting their income and should be heard. We need to strengthen our farming systems and not weaken them. Violence in Lakhimpur Kheri marks a dramatic escalation in a 10-month-old protest against agricultural reforms that farmers say will benefit private players at their expense. Tens of thousands of them have been striking on the outskirts of Delhi since November, demanding that the laws must be repealed. It is one of the longest farmers-led protests India has ever seen, pitting the community against Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his Bharatiya Janata Party-led BJP government. Still tracking stories from the international scene, South Africans have paid tribute to the second mayor to die in a car crash under 3 weeks. Naledi local municipality mayor Neo Schalk was killed on Sunday morning after an accident outside the town of Vryburg in Northwest Province. Newsman reports that he was traveling with his wife on the way back from a funeral. She also sustained injuries but is now thought to be in a stable condition. Northwest Community Safety and Transport Management says Schalk was an advocate of road safety, according to Newsman. In the many joint law enforcement operations that were held in Vryburg, Mayor Schalk was always there. He would actively participate in imploring road users to obey the rules of the road, Salio Lehari told journalists. I am saddened by his untimely death, especially at the time we are preparing for local government elections on 18 September. Johannesburg Mayor Jolide Motango was killed in a car crash. Batango had only become mayor a month earlier following the death of his predecessor from COVID complications. South Africa experiences a high number of fatalities on the road, with one report citing nearly 13,000 deaths in 2018, a situation the country's AA has called carnage. Some people online have expressed concern about the safety of the politicians on the road. Others have said it is scary so many of the mayors are passing away. And to wrap things up from the international scene, Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has said his government will investigate citizens linked to a massive leak on hidden global wealth. The Pandora Papers link hundreds of Pakistanis, including members of Khan's cabinet, to wealth secretly moved through offshore companies. They rank among history's biggest financial banks, exposing dealings of global business and political figures. Khan said it would take action if any wrongdoing was established. The secret assets were uncovered to a global investigation based on 12 million files leading to the International Consortium of Investigative Journalism, ICU, which has been working with more than 140 media organizations worldwide. According to newsmen, more than 700 people in the country were named in the papers, among them 2 members of the cabinet. According to the leaked documents, Shaukat Tarin, the country's finance minister, a member of his family, owned 4 offshore firms. Tariq Fawad Malik, a financial advisor who handled the paperwork for the companies, told the ICU that companies were set up by the Tarin family with the intention of investing in a bank with Saudi business connections. But the deal did not proceed, Malik said. The leaked documents also suggest that Chaudhry Muniz Elahi, the Minister for Water Resources, pulled out of making planned investment through offshore tax havens after it was warned the investment would be reported to the country's tax authorities. Those are stories from the international scene at this time.
Now to end the news, let's join the entertainment desk for more stories.
Welcome to Entertainment News. Nigerian rapper Judah Bagger, popularly known as M.I. Abaga, has clocked 40. To celebrate this special day, the music star took to his Instagram page on Monday, October 4, 2021, where he penned a message to celebrate his birthday. He continued appreciating those who stood by him. He rose to prominence in 2006 with the song Crowd Mentality. Happy birthday to the music star from all of us at Galaxy Television. Meanwhile, the Big Brother Naija Shine Your Eyes Season 6 edition winners emerged. Hazel Onyenye Ono, also known as White Money, beats the last 3 contestants, Liku Rose, Bere, and Cross to win the grand prize of 90 million naira. In the finale, Emmanuel and Angel were first evicted, before Cross and Bere leaving Liku Rose with White Money as top 2 finalists. The Enugu-born entertainer will be getting a cash prize of 30 million naira, a 2-bedroom flat, an SUV, and many other amazing prizes. Congratulations to you, White Money, on your big win. Also, update on Big Brother Naija Maria, a video which captured moment Maria apologized to Angel's father at the finale of the Big Brother Naija reality show has been shared online. Maria in the video was apologizing over things she said about Angel in the house. She noted that there were a lot of miscommunications and she actually loves Angel. Maria also complimented Angel's father's look, telling him it looks very handsome. Meanwhile, OAP Matilda Duncan has been diagnosed with peritonitis. The media personality, who is a sister to actor Mofe Duncan, made the revelation on Twitter. She shared a photo from a hospital bed and asked her followers to pray for her as she begins battling with the ailment. We wish you a quick recovery. Finally, on entertainment news, popular Nigerian comedian Ayo Makon has decided to roll back the years of his struggles to the years of abundance and triumph. AY shared an emotional video that contained images from his struggling days as an entertainer to how he mounts big stages, sell out shows, win awards, and he's still able to raise an adorable family. A funny-looking younger AY was flanked with Nigerian comedy grandfather Alibaba at the beginning of the video, amongst other notable throwbacks. He penned an emotional note as the caption. He further stressed the struggles helping teaching lessons as he wished his numerous fans a successful new week. And that'll be all on entertainment news.
Well, the entertainment news does it for us, but for more updates and latest news, visit our website at www.galaxytvonline.com or subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GalaxyTV Nigeria. You can follow or interact with us on our Facebook page at facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Official Galaxy TV. If you have breaking news around you, you can avail our Eyewitness feature by WhatsApp. Simply